Okay, let's switch to a different subject. Who are you around? We're going to take a mental inventory of who are around. Studies have shown you're like the 5 to 10 people you're around the most. And so you really need to take an inventory of who you're around a lot. Do you like who you're around? Do you feel better or worse after being with them? Really think about it. Are they a downer, a negative, a naysayer kind of person? Shoot down ideas, your wants, your beliefs. People may try to make you feel bad for growing, changing, and breaking the mold. They may perceive you'll pass them by, that you're going to supersede them. You're going to go ahead of them and leave them behind. Make changes if you're around too much negative. I had to do that in the last few years, and I had some family that was very negative. And so I had to actually consciously sort of get out of the conversation and ignore it when it got negative. Because I didn't want to necessarily stop being around them, but I became very conscious of it and got out of it and dropped it, and that was helpful. You can't soar the eagles when you hang with the turkeys. Do what you can, where you are, with what you have. Take a look at these little guys. Wouldn't you love to be the panda, the job that gets to stay in the panda baby sanctuary with about 12 little teddy bears that are alive? That's a little pig that his mom died and he grew up with the dogs. Some corgis. Are you living in the now? What I mean by that, do you stay here currently and get the most out of each moment of the day? Are you thinking about what happened previously? Maybe what's coming down the pike in the future? How about maybe I have to get something done by the end of the month or in the next few days or weeks? Or are you present in the moment, making the most of each moment? I have seized the moment on my emails all the time. And I really, as you think about that, you only get one shot at each moment, and then it's gone. So are you actually staying here now and making the most of it? Or are you thinking before and after, past or future? You really need to stay here, which is very hard for me. I'm not good at this. I continue to work on it. I tend to look at the next bigger thing rather than fully appreciate what I'm doing currently or what I've actually just accomplished. And I'm getting better at that. I'm actually recognizing it now. I'm stopping and appreciating that and actually rewarding myself with something. But I hadn't done that for quite a while, and you can see all the degrees and stuff, and I didn't do that then. I was already working on the next thing when I already had not even finished the one thing. I would always finish it, but it was just like, okay, I'm done with that, move on. So, do you live in the present? Like right now? Are you here right now? Or are you thinking about what you're going to do yet tonight, or your drive out of here, or if the traffic's bad, or what your kids did, or what they got to do tonight, or things like that? Because if so, you're not in the present. You're in the future, and you're missing the present. You're not capitalizing on the moment. Control your mind, or somebody else will. Don't rent your mind space to someone who wronged you, you don't like, you're mad at, said something bad about you. Evict them. Remember, I'm a real estate guy. Get them out of there. Don't give them precious mind space. Refocus your mind on what moves you forward, not what you're ticked off about or who did you wrong. Start listening to yourself and become cognizant of past limiting beliefs. Those are things in your head that other people told you, no, don't run in the road. And your teachers tell you, don't do this, don't do that, do it this way, do it that way. Your parents tell you this and that. Your bosses. All these things build up limiting beliefs when you're young and continue to limit you into how you think, what you do, what you take a chance at. Stop right when you catch one of those limiting beliefs and replace it with something that is really true now. You're an adult now. You know not to run in the street. You can go in the street. You know when you can go in the street. You just don't run in front of cars. But you know how to do that. Replace those kinds of limiting thoughts with reality. And you will expand what you can do and how you think, and you won't be limited as much by all those past thoughts. You can also add positive affirmations, which we'll get to in a little while, that'll match those reality statements and make you move forward and grow and expand your thought. Begins to open your mind to much greater, expansive possibilities, which motivates you into action to get them done. Several years ago, this actually happened to me. This is a limiter that I ran into. I had sold a company, finished law school, sold all my rental and real estate and stuff, and so I was ready to do something new. Decided to look for what was next for me. The first time I'd ever done that in 20 years. And it was about a 9/11, bad economy. I was overqualified in a weaker area, didn't want a long-distance relocation, so I had a lot of walls to climb to try to get to something I wanted to do. And I found these different projects, consulting and real estate and business turnarounds, financial planning and stuff, but I ran into lots of people as I was searching heavily and making lots of connections that would talk and not do, or just flat out lie to me. And they were so used to it they didn't even realize that. And I recognized I couldn't trust hardly anybody anymore that I didn't really know, and I continued to be told I was overqualified, not finding something that I really wanted, a regular role in a company or a law firm. And it caused me to grow much more conservative, get down, pull within, try to protect what I had, because I had so many negative experiences as downers without good, even little wins to make me bounce back up and realize not everything was bad like that. So I also wasn't recognizing what I had actually already done, so that let me get down also. It took me away from what was referred to as abundance mentality, which means like there's lots of customers out there, so don't worry about one you lost or one somebody took. There's lots out there, sort of an unlimited kind of mindset, as compared to scarcity, which is what I was going into, which means, oh, I only have a few possible things I could do, so I got to really protect those. And in my case, I had certain things that I already had acquired and things, so I really had to protect those because I had so many people telling me things that didn't come true that it was causing me to be that conservative sort of scarcity person. I had to learn to apply all these kinds of things. That's how I got to these, is I had to learn and apply them well. I did a lot of background study, practice, those kinds of things, and I had to get my mind and demeanor out of the dumps and back taking risks again, which is what I had done my whole life. So I was growing daily, getting into that discomfort zone, and obviously being cautious, but realizing there's a lot of people out there I wouldn't trust. Another Confucius said, nobody will believe in you until you believe in yourself first. That couldn't be more true. What you think about will come about. Top of mind. It's top of mind mentality. If it stays in your mind, you will have a much better chance at making it happen. Is your mind limited? You probably don't even know it. But take these 9 dots, for instance, without lifting your pencil from the paper, draw 4 straight connected lines going through all 9 circles just once. Okay, I'll give you just a couple of minutes, but this is an interesting exercise. Let's think Jeopardy now. Okay. Obviously I screw around a lot. Anybody get it? Anybody get it? Not one hand. That's what I thought. And I didn't get it. I got to admit. But let me show you quickly what it is. We're going to start right here from this side. We're going to go over here. Look where I'm going. Out here. 1 line. Down through these. 2 down here. 2 lines. Up through these. 3 lines. Over here. 4 lines. All 9 dots. Your mind told you, I can't go outside those 9 dots, didn't it? That's what I thought. That's what everybody's mind is. Do you see that down here in the directions? Doesn't say you can't go outside those lines. But your mind limited you. And that's a past limiter. And you've got lots of them in your head. And you've got to be cognizant of those and actually listen to yourself. Your mind, actually. And as it limits those, as you come across those things through the day, you got to stop it and think, no, you didn't say I couldn't go out here. You just said 4 lines without lifting a pencil, all 9 circles, just once. I wouldn't go over here and do that. You've got to let your mind open up. and get past limiting beliefs, because otherwise you can see your mind is clearly limited, because that's how it's been trained for so many years. Break that, and I guarantee you will grow further and expand your mind dramatically. Money and income is a very popular limiter. Jim was a guy that has some books out, training materials, a popular speaker at this point. He had made $500,000 the year that we had talked to. He had spent almost all of it, kept $45,000. Found that he had a limiting belief. We talked to some people. We talked to myself and a couple others, and we found he had a limiting belief that he should only make what his parents did and no more, which happened at $45,000, and they functioned fine raising him and his siblings. He had heard them say things like people with money are bad, and are backstabbers and liars and cheaters, and they do illegal stuff, and they look down on others. So he didn't want to be that. He had to learn to stop spending that excess, follow a plan that was good for him, change those thoughts as they pop into his mind right when they were happening, contradict that to change his mind right then. And he had to do this a lot of times, because you have to retrain your mind by getting bad habits out and backfilling with good habits. And he ultimately is getting his mind to realize it's okay to make lots of money, because he had a particular charitable cause he wanted to help, but he had spent his money, and he didn't really spend it wisely. And so he then could see he could take that money and help others, help this charity, and do things for his parents and so forth that wasn't bad, and therefore it wasn't bad to have money, but it's very easy. Most people have an income or dollar limiter in their mind. I have a similar one. And I've done well here and there, but I have come up and down through this. I used to hear my mother a couple decades ago say, wow, we made $50,000, so we're getting paid real well. My dad didn't have a lot of education or anything, and he'd come up from the ranks. And his boss had made almost $100,000. They couldn't believe it. He said, he's not worth that, they said. And I had earned a few $100,000 bonus a number of years back, and she said, that is way too much. You can't continue that. You can't expect to earn that much. Just take what you can, get what you can get, and accept it. That's normal. And I continue to work on my mind because I know I should be earning much more than I do currently, and have to believe it first, so I am upping the bar in my mind to expect higher. Even though I had earned well, like you hear before, I've been up and down by changing different directions. And I've had to get her and those other thoughts out of my head so that I see I should be earning a lot of money, and that that's okay. But most people have a limiter in their mind, and they don't go further because that limitation stays there.